Today, we're venturing deep into the heart of Hungary, to a place unlike any other I've ever seen. Imagine a vast, open plain stretching as far as the eye can see, a sea of grass rippling in the wind. This is the Hortobágy National Park, also known as the Puszta, and it's a place where time seems to stand still. Located in eastern Hungary, the Hortobágy is one of Europe's largest remaining grasslands. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a testament to the raw, untamed beauty of the Hungarian landscape. Now, I'm not usually one for wide open spaces, preferring the cozy embrace of ancient forests or the craggy heights of mountains. But there's something about the Puszta that draws you in. It's the silence, broken only by the wind whispering through the grass and the distant calls of unseen birds. It's the sheer scale of the place, the endless horizon that makes you feel both insignificant and strangely free. So, come along with me as we explore the wonders of Hortobágy National Park, where the wild things roam and the spirit of old Hungary still thrives. Now, when I say sea of grass, I really mean it. This place is flat, and I mean pancake flat. You could probably see your dog run away for 3 days straight out here. But that's part of what makes it so unique. The Puszta is a steppe ecosystem, which is basically a fancy word for a semi-arid grassland. It's a harsh environment, with hot summers, cold winters, and not a whole lot of rain. But life finds a way, as they say, and the Puszta is teeming with it. We're talking herds of graceful grey cattle with horns that could double as a Viking helmet, their shaggy coats blending into the landscape. Then there are the Racka sheep, with their distinctive spiraling horns that look like they belong on some mythical creature. And don't even get me started on the horses. These animals are tough, they have to be to survive out here. And they're a vital part of the Puszta's ecosystem, grazing the grasslands and keeping the landscape from being overrun by shrubs and trees. We're talking hundreds of species, from majestic birds of prey like eagles and falcons to colorful bee-eaters and hoopoes. During migration season, the skies above the Puszta are filled with flocks of birds, their calls echoing across the plains. It's a birdwatcher's paradise, and even a city slicker like myself can't help but be impressed by the sheer diversity of feathered friends out here. But the Puszta isn't just about the animals. The plant life here is equally fascinating. There are over 60 different species of grass in the Puszta, each adapted to the specific conditions of its environment. And in the spring, the grasslands erupt in a riot of color as wildflowers bloom. Now, let's talk about some of the locals, and I don't mean the folks in the nearby villages. The Puszta is a haven for wildlife, and I'm not just talking about a few stray pigeons. Oh no, we're talking creatures that command your respect, even from a distance. Look up, and you might catch a glimpse of the majestic eastern imperial eagle, its wingspan broader than a barn door. These birds are the apex predators of the Puszta, rulers of the sky, with eyes that could spot a field mouse from a mile away. Then there's the Saka falcon, a blur of feathers as it dives at lightning speed to snatch its prey. These falcons were prized by falconers for centuries, and seeing one in the wild is a truly awe-inspiring experience. Keep your eyes peeled for the red-footed falcon, a colorful character with a taste for insects. They swarm the skies during their migration, putting on an aerial display that would put any air show to shame. And if you're lucky, you might even spot a great bustard, the heaviest flying bird in the world. But the real magic of the Puszta lies in its soundscape. Close your eyes for a moment and just listen. The wind whispers through the tall grasses, creating a soft, rustling sound like 1,000 secrets being shared. A lark sings its heart out overhead, its melody piercing the vastness of the sky. In the distance, a shepherd calls to his flock, his voice echoing across the plains like a voice from a bygone era. And then there's the sound of hooves drumming on the earth as a herd of horses gallops across the plains. It's a primal sound, one that speaks to the wildness that still exists in this ancient land. This symphony of the wild is the soundtrack of the Puszta, a constantly changing tapestry of sound that will stay with you long after you've left. Conservation efforts are underway to preserve this unique habitat and ensure that future generations can experience the magic of the Puszta. Now you might be thinking, Rick, this all sounds great, but what about the water? It's all well and good to have endless plains, but a fellow gets thirsty out there. Well, you're right. Water is scarce in the Puszta, but where there's a will, there's a way, and the people of the Puszta have found ingenious ways to adapt to this arid environment. The lifeblood of the Puszta is the Tisa River, a meandering waterway that snakes its way across the plains. For centuries, the Tisa has provided water for drinking, irrigation, and transportation. Along its banks, you'll find lush oases of green, a stark contrast to the dry grasslands that surround them. The Tisa is more than just a source of water. It's a symbol of resilience, a testament to the power of nature to adapt and thrive in even the most challenging environments. The Puszta isn't just about the land. It's about the people who have lived in harmony with this wild place for centuries. We're going back in time now, imagining the echoes of thundering hooves and the haunting melodies of herdsmen's songs. For centuries, the Puszta was a land of nomads, with tribes migrating across the plains with their herds of livestock. These were tough, resourceful people, hardened by the elements and deeply connected to the rhythms of nature. They lived in portable tents called yurts, moving from place to place in search of fresh grazing land for their animals. Over time, these nomadic tribes settled down, establishing villages and developing a unique culture that was intrinsically linked to the Puszta. These were the ancestors of the modern-day Hungarian people, and their legacy is etched into the very fabric of this land. More than just grass, a cultural tapestry. Now, you might think that a vast grassland like the Puszta wouldn't have much room for cultural treasures, but you'd be wrong. The people of the Puszta, known as the Pusztaiak, have a rich and vibrant culture that has been shaped by their unique environment and way of life. Their traditions are as much a part of the landscape as the grasslands themselves, passed down through generations like precious heirlooms. One of the most iconic elements of Puszta culture is their music. Traditional Hungarian folk music is full of haunting melodies and fiery rhythms, often played on instruments like the cymbalum and the violin. These songs tell stories of life on the plains, of love and loss, of hardship and resilience. They're like windows into the soul of the Puszta people, expressing their deep connection to the land and to each other. And then there's the food. Hungarian cuisine is known for its hearty dishes, perfect for warming you up on a cold winter's night after a long day on the plains. Guardians of tradition, the Csikós and their steeds. But let's not forget the real stars of the Puszta, the Csikós. These are the cowboys of Hungary, the skilled horsemen who have become synonymous with the Puszta way of life. Dressed in their distinctive attire, wide-brimmed hats, embroidered vests, and those iconic billowing pants, the Csikós cut a dashing figure as they gallop across the plains on their trusty steeds. The Csikós are renowned for their horsemanship, their ability to control their mounts with incredible precision and grace. They've developed a deep bond with their horses, a partnership based on mutual respect and trust. Watching a Csikós at work is like witnessing a dance between man and beast, a testament to the centuries-old traditions that are still very much alive in the Puszta. The Csikós played a vital role in the history of the Puszta, herding livestock, protecting their communities, and even serving as messengers and scouts. Today, the Csikós are a symbol of the Puszta's cultural heritage, a living embodiment of the spirit of this wild and untamed land. A feast for the senses, a journey for the soul. So you've heard about the wildlife, the history, the culture, but what about actually the Puszta? Well, my friend, this ain't just some drive-through safari park. This is a place that begs to be explored, to be savored, to leave its mark on your soul. First things first, forget your fancy hiking boots and all-weather gear. Out here, it's all about immersing yourself in the elements. Feel the wind whip through your hair, the sun warm your face, the scent of wildflowers fill your nostrils. Take a deep breath and let that fresh, untainted air fill your lungs. It's like hitting the reset button on your senses. How about a leisurely horseback ride across the plains? Feel the rhythm of the horse's hooves beneath you, the wind in your hair as you soak in the vastness of the landscape. Or perhaps a traditional horse-drawn carriage ride is more your speed, complete with a local guide regaling you with tales of the Puszta's past. Now, don't think for a minute that the Puszta is just one giant, empty grassland. Scattered across this vast landscape are charming villages that seem frozen in time. These are the heart and soul of the Puszta, where ancient traditions are kept alive and hospitality is a way of life. One such village is Hortobágy, the namesake of the national park itself. Here, you can step back in time and experience what life was like for the Pusztaiak centuries ago. Visit the traditional thatched roof houses, marvel at the intricate craftsmanship of local artisans, and maybe even try your hand at some traditional crafts yourself. And don't even think about leaving without sampling the local cuisine. Head to one of the village's charming restaurants and prepare to be wowed by the hearty flavors of traditional Hungarian dishes. Now, if you're feeling a bit more adventurous, the Puszta has plenty to offer those who like to get their adrenaline pumping. Remember those Csikós I told you about? Well, some places offer horseback riding lessons where you can learn the ropes, or should I say reins, from the masters themselves. Imagine yourself galloping across the plains, feeling the wind in your hair, the thrill of freedom coursing through your veins. But if horses aren't your thing, hey, I don't judge. There are plenty of other ways to get your adventure fix in the Puszta. How about exploring the network of cycling trails that crisscross the park? Pedal through the grasslands, feel the sun on your face, and take in the panoramic views that stretch as far as the eye can see. Or for a truly unique perspective, why not take to the skies in a hot air balloon? Soar above the plains, drift with the wind, and witness the breathtaking beauty of the Puszta from a whole new angle. And for all you bird watchers out there, the Puszta is a paradise just waiting to be explored. As we've journeyed through Hortobágy National Park, it's clear this isn't just a picturesque landscape. It's a testament to nature and Hungarian culture. But the Puszta faces challenges like climate change and habitat loss. Visitors must tread lightly and support sustainable tourism. Preserving the Puszta safeguards biodiversity and cultural heritage. We must ensure the echoes of horse hooves and herdsmen's songs continue. Now, I've explored Europe's hidden gems, from ancient ruins to bustling cities. But the Puszta is special. Its vastness and silence make you feel free. The wind whispers through the grass and distant bird calls reconnect you with yourself. Escape the hustle, breathe fresh air, and embrace the unexpected. Add Hortobágy National Park to your bucket list. It's unforgettable. Well, folks, that's a wrap on our adventure through the heart of Hungary's Puszta. I hope you've enjoyed this little virtual tour and that I've inspired you to add this incredible destination to your travel plans. Remember, the world is full of hidden gems just waiting to be discovered. So, get out there, explore, experience new cultures, and create your own unforgettable adventures. And who knows, maybe our paths will cross again in some far-flung corner of the globe. Until then, happy travels, and as always, keep exploring.